What up, y'all? Marjack79 here. We're back again today with another movie review. Just saw the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie last night. Yeah, so I mean, as you can see, I'm not in Florida anymore. I am back in my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, back in the freezing cold. When I left Florida, it was 80 degrees. Got back to Louisville, it was a booming 20 degrees, so I'm freezing. But I'm so excited, man. I got so much to talk about with this movie. As you saw in the title, I truly believe this is the greatest video game movie of all time. I've seen a lot of video game movies in my day, from the abysmal Super Mario Brothers to the great, in my opinion, Assassin's Creed. I really enjoyed Ratchet and Clank. I really enjoyed the new Tomb Raider. Meh. I loved the original Mortal Kombat. Hated Mortal Kombat Annihilation. The Resident Evils, some of them were good, some of them were hit and miss. But this one right here, man, probably going to come out a little bit biased. Y'all should know by now, if you've been following my channel, that I am a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I truly enjoyed this movie from start to finish. Just a little hiccups here and there, a little bit of dialogue issues, a little bit of too much Jim Carrey-isms, but overall, this was a fantastic product, and I think it was a true homage to Genesis era fans of the video game. So let's get started. This is going to be a spoiler review, so yeah, so if you have not seen the movie yet, I would definitely click off of this video now. But if you clicked on the video, thank you for your support, but come back after you watch the movie. So let's go ahead and let's get started, man. So so from the jump, I think it was a cool idea to introduce the Isle, character, kind of like the mentor character at the beginning of the movie. I really liked her character. Because there's never been an origin story for Sonic the Hedgehog. We never really knew who his parents were or anything like that, so on and so forth. So it was really cool for the movie to introduce like a character that was kind of a mentor for Sonic. I also liked the introduction to kind of have the echidnas. It's kind of like a backstory villain for Sonic's homeworld. Because, I mean, if you played Sonic Adventure, then if you're a fan of the Sonic games, I'm going to be jumping back and forth between the Sonic games and the movie. So, it's really going to help in this review if you have a general understanding of the Sonic video games. So, as we know, in Sonic Adventure, the echidnas were trying to control Chaos to bend him to his will. So, it was kind of like, I feel like that's where they grabbed that idea from, to try to kidnap Sonic to steal his natural born ability of speed. So so I really enjoyed that. So it was really cool to have them kind of be the central backstory bad guys. And I just pray that this movie does well enough so that we can dive deeper into that to get a sequel. Because, I mean, obviously, spoiler alert, Tails was introduced and the mid-credits scene. So I think, the sequel story would have to be, Tails gets introduced and tells Sonic that the echidnas are coming. And the echidna champion is obviously going to be Knuckles. So, boom, just so much possibility with this film, if it does well at the box office, which I really believe it's going to do well, because just from the general theming, just the story itself, just having a Sonic meet Tom, their on-screen chemistry was really good. Tom, the only other movie that I really knew him from was the X-Men when he played Cyclops, and then I know he was the husband back in Superman Returns or whatever. But I really liked Tom's character. He wasn't annoying. He didn't really get in the way. This was definitely a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It was centered on him. Story was about him, obviously. So it was he was just a really good human character. Then I also really like the concept of Sonic not really understanding his full potential for his power at the beginning of the film. I feel like the film did a really good job of letting him ease into it, to really let him allow to understand what he was fully capable of. And I feel like the film also did a good job of explaining why he felt the need to hide his power as well. Because he always knew that he was fast, but he didn't know that he had that power built up inside him to take down huge machines as well. So I feel like the film did a really good job to explain that. So then that leads us to the introduction of Dr. Robotnik. Jim Carrey, yes. You know, what I always say is that a good, hero film is either made or destroyed by how good the villain is. I definitely have my high hopes for Jim Carrey, and I feel like he wasn't perfect, but he definitely fulfilled the character, or played the character exactly how I wanted him to play. Not too serious, not too goofy, but he was like super goofy how Dr. Robotnik is in the majority of all Sonic games, and that's the thing about Robotnik's character too. I feel like in some of the Sonic games he's like super serious, really just out to destroy the world, and then in some of the later games he's just a really goofy character, more so of a Bowser-ish type arch nemesis. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he did a really good job of incorporating some comedy into the character to really portray him well. No, I feel like he did a really good job. And definitely, obviously, that's your two core characters. If you don't have a good Sonic, voice actor who I think did good as well. I don't know that dude's name, but I was pretty worried about that from the trailers as well, because I don't know, he just sounded weird to me in the trailers. But the full portrayal of his performance of Sonic, I feel like he did a really good job of representing how his personality is, and especially when you compare it to like from the Sonic Adventure games to the PS3, the PS4 era of Sonic games, and so on and so forth. I really feel like his personality, of his laid back, cool, but when shit gets real, he buckles down and does what he needs to do to get the job done. I feel like he really represented the voice character well. Same thing with Dr. Robotnik. It was definitely a sense of goofiness and serious that he needed to have to represent that character well. And I feel like they both did an outstanding job. Now, side characters, Tom, cool, whatever. You don't need a super good side human character. Just one to not get in the way, and one also to not be annoying. #Chris from Sonic X, to just fulfill that friend role to push the story along. And I feel like Tom really played that character well. So I definitely wouldn't mind seeing him in the sequel. He's not needed, especially since Tails is going to be there in the sequel. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him and his fiance, I can't think of her name, in the sequel as well. Especially since it was a good finale for them to move all his stuff from his cave into the top corridor of their house. I feel like that was really cool. So now let's talk about action scenes and speed running scenes. Brilliant. That was definitely what sold me for being my favorite video game movie of all time. You can't have a Sonic movie without running, speed, and battle scenes. I feel like they did a really good job. I feel like they studied some of the X-Men Quicksilver scenes, and they incorporated that into the movie, like some of the Flash scenes from the Justice League. I feel like that was incorporated really well. I love it. That was some of the best parts of the whole film, when they were in the bar and they were fighting the guys, and he did his little run around pushing the bullets and the stuff out of the way. And yeah, it's really good, man. Bravo. That's nothing more that I could ask for from the Sonic film in action. Him running all over the world, from Egypt to China to the ocean. Brilliant. What more could you want? That's what you want. And then Eggman being able to figure out a mechanism to be able to keep up with Sonic's speed. Yes, brilliant. Because if you played a Sonic game before, that shit is not easy. Most Sonic games are actually relatively difficult, especially those earlier titles. So it definitely should not have been a one-sided match where Sonic just obliterates, Eggman. It was a realistic, this dude does have mincing death traps, going after this one blue hedgehog. So it should not be an easy fight, and it wasn't. I feel like it took everything Sonic had to take him down, and it was presented in a really respectful to the source material in the movie. Yes. Very good, man. Very good. Yeah, so I mean, so now if I had to mention anything negative about the film, it was a few Eggman scenes. Like I feel like that whole dance scene that you see in the trailer of him dancing to the music, and then the dude sneaking up him with the lattes, wasn't needed. A few of the side characters were a little bit forced. The sister to Tom's wife's, yeah, the sister, provided a little bit of comedic element, but not really necessary. But I mean, I get it though, trying to add a little bit more comedic element to the film. But I feel like kind of Sonic and Tom's chemistry on the film already provided that. So just a little bit more that I didn't really feel like was needed. Other than that, man, but honestly, those are just nitpicks though. It was definitely nothing film breaking per se. So yeah, but definitely I was very satisfied with this film. I couldn't believe it. When the trailer before they redid the design to Sonic, I thought this movie was gonna bomb. I thought it was gonna be terrible. I thought I was gonna come on here and make a review just destroying it. But lo and behold, I ended up loving it, man. So. But I do have to say, if they didn't do that redesign, this film would have bombed. There's not a doubt in my mind. So, whoever made that major decision to listen to the fans and do that redesign of the entire character, congratulations, sir. That's probably the best decision you ever made in your life. Just keep that up. Keep it up. Don't especially when it comes to sources like this that have such huge fan bases. You have to listen to the criticisms, especially when you release those trailers, man. Like, hey, this is not it. This is not it. You have to fix this. You have to fix this. And it makes, especially like me as a YouTuber who's able to get my voice out there, it makes me feel good. Like, hey, like maybe they actually listened to, because I put out 2 videos about it. About like, this is not good. This is not good. This has to be fixed before the movie is released, or it's gonna bomb. Because if you're a true Sonic fan, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Like, I want sequel after sequel after sequel. Like, obviously, I think the next one is gonna be centered around Sonic and Tails' friendship and them going against Knuckles. Probably it's gonna be, Eggman meets Knuckles and tricks him into thinking that Sonic is trying to steal the Master Emerald, which could then, eventually, once they finish that story, that can lead into a Metal Sonic story, which could lead into a Chaos story, which could lead into a Shadow the Hedgehog story. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless. They are absolutely endless. There are tens of 20s to hundreds of Sonic stories that can be told, man. And I mean the film even had little like nods to like his rings and what the rings meant to him and how they contribute to his power and whatnot. I feel like there wasn't really anything to the classic games, to at least the original classic game, that was missed. So I mean, of course, there was no mention of the Chaos Emeralds or anything, but I don't think you can introduce the Chaos Emeralds without introducing the super forms. I just hope that y'all really get out there and support this movie. This is a movie that we have to support. Last year a movie by the name of Alita Battle Angel came out, and I thought that movie was brilliant, but it just didn't do the numbers that it needed to do to warrant a sequel. And I think, I just have a strong fear that Sonic the Hedgehog may fall into this category too, man. I just really hope that y'all go out there and support this movie, man. This was such a good film, and if you're a Sonic fan and if you haven't seen this movie yet, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, man. This is, Sonic the Hedgehog's universe is just as exuberant as the Marvel universe or the DC universe, man. We could definitely see at least a trilogy. At least a trilogy, man. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not exuberant as the MCU or the DC, but it was definitely enough to warrant a trilogy of movies, man. And I think it really has the potential to do so. So we've been talking for about 15 minutes, man. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But if y'all want to keep on talking about it, you can let me know by liking the video, because I could talk about this movie all day long. So as always, man, thanks everybody for watching. This movie is awesome. Go see it. You can follow me at youtube.com/marjake79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one. I'll catch you guys later.